Hello, LOL. Um, Listeners must be wondering who will be the guest speaker this episode. She's from Pune, Chirasri. And you know, uh, it gives me so much happiness welcoming her to the LOL episode. And I heard she has written a self-motivation book and a humor thriller. First one is her thriller, and both are back to back, 19 and 20. And we are very, very curious to talk about her journey, especially the publishing journey. Um, Over to Danya to introduce Chirasri, please.
Hello, fellow lobsters. Today we have with us Chirasri, who is a passionate writer with a zeal to make a difference through her words. Her first book, Done With Her, released in Feb 2019 and has grabbed remarkable positions in the top book lists on Amazon a number of times. The latest best-selling book, Mrs. Basu's Uncensored Feminism, is one of the genre, drama and humor, which has won the hearts of readers across the country through its clever jabs at social norms. Chirasri started her career back in 2012 as a software engineer and in due course realized her passion for writing. She worked as an editor and writer with various writing platforms and continues to expand her horizons of her skills with diverse forms of writing. We welcome you, Chirasri. We are so happy to have you in LOL, which is Love of Literature. And we are looking forward to hear more about your journey. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
Chirasri, getting a book published itself is a big, it's a big task.
Audio,
but yeah. And then to get two books in the consecutive years, back to back, and both are fiction, different genres of fiction, is fantastic. How was it to hold the first book in your hand, your first book? And then you can go to the second book of yours. And we want to know the publishing journey of yours. Very interested in.
Right. So my first book, it was, I always say that it was very strange because, I first published the Kindle, because that book that I was writing, it was mainly for a competition. So I was not really planning to publish the book. I used to participate in competitions, writing competitions, mainly to, improve my writing and all.
Yeah.
That which happens with most aspiring authors.
Yes.
So I was doing it. And then after I was done, I uploaded it on Kindle. And, it was then that I realized that, okay, my book is published and it is out there. So people were reading it, I reached out to some reviewers and they reviewed it and the response was good. So it was then that I realized that it should be out in paperback form also, so that, because it was my first book, I should be able to hold it in my hands. So, that feeling has to be really, ethereal because obviously, it is my first book. It would always be that way. So it was then that I reached out to many publishers and, it was then that it got published in a couple of months and I held it in my hands for the first time. So it was really amazing. That feeling I can never really express in words. I held it, I clicked pictures and everything that which happens nowadays, post pictures on, social media and all. But more than that, what really stayed with me is that feeling, I had held many books in my hands before, but that particular feeling, it was, I don't know, I smelled my book, I smelled the pages, and I was like, okay, these are my words. So that feeling was amazing. I can never, truly be able to express that in my words, but it was amazing. It was something heavenly.
So it's a unique journey of yours. The Kindle version comes first, and then is the print form. Now, did you send proposals to many people, many publishers, first of all? And how was the response? How were the rejections? And also, did you get the, the Kindle, what to say, how the readers welcomed the book, or how they received the text, the fiction? You must have, also highlighted to the publishers. Please let us know how that journey was.
Right. So I'll tell you how it happened. After I uploaded my book on Kindle and it was live, I didn't know how to, make it reach people, because I knew that it was out there, but nobody else knew. So to my voice is not coming.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So should I repeat?
No, you can just.
Yeah. Please repeat.
Yeah. So after my book was live, I kind of realized that I knew that it was live, but nobody else knew that. So I had to somehow make it reach people. So I was not very active on Instagram, but whenever I was live on Instagram, I would see that my fellow authors, my fellow writers, they were posting about the book reviews and everything. There were book readers, book lovers, bookworms, and there was a different community altogether. So I somehow got the idea that I needed to reach them, because only they could give my book the kind of reach that I wanted. So I myself reached out to them. I talked about my book. I gave them the blurb of the book. And when they felt interested, some of them said that, because the book was free on Kindle. So some of them said that, okay, I'll pick it up. No need to worry. I'll give it a read and then I'll post a review. Some of them were really kind, So I waited for that. My first review came out. I was really scared, I would say, because that was my first time, it was out on a big platform like Amazon. So my first review came out. It was decent. I remember the third or fourth review was really bad. I remember that reviewer, she was not really kind to me. I do not blame her. It is okay. It's very much subjective. You like a book, you don't like a book.
Yeah.
But that time it was very hard to me. I wouldn't say that I took it very nicely. It was the first time. The earlier reviews were good. And suddenly I got a 3-star, and the kind of words that were mentioned in the review, it really threw me back. And but overall I started to learn that it is okay that people are not liking, people are criticizing, as long as it is constructive criticism, it is all good, because you are getting to learn what went wrong in the book, or what you could probably improve in the next book. So that is really helpful for every author, I would say. And after a month or two, I remember when the book got some 50-60 reviews or so, and those were pretty decent, I decided to reach out to publishers for the paperback. Because like I said, I want to hold my book in my hands. I didn't have any, big expectations from the book, because it was my first book, that too unplanned. So whatever I was getting, I was happy with that, to be honest. I was very much excited, with every review. I would sit down and read every review. I would like to follow what people were saying, how many reviews I got on Amazon, on Goodreads and everything. So I decided to reach out to the publishers, and I got many rejections somewhere, because the book was actually small, because I was writing for a competition. The book was pretty small, actually. It was about 14,000 words.
Oh, okay.
82 pages. 82 pages long it was.
Right.
So many publishers told me that it is really small. It's not really a novel. It's a novella. So I didn't know all these things, to be honest. So especially the traditional publishers, I would tell you, because they like to, they like in-depth work, to be honest. So when the book is really small, they do not like to go with you. But it hurt me initially, but I learned to acknowledge the fact that, okay, it is my first try. I cannot lose heart, and I have to keep going. So I reached out to many self-publishers, and almost everybody accepted it. And one of them, it kind of fit with my budget and everything. So I went with that. So the book got published, and I had it in my hands. So everything, that experience was amazing. It was the first time I was, I was getting all the new experiences, I would say, be it publishers, be it reviewers, be it marketing of my book and promotional and author branding, whatever happens, throughout the journey. I was experiencing all that for the first time. So it was really good. There were some negative experiences, there were some positive experiences, but to be honest, in the end, I learned a lot. So that is what I would, always keep with me.
Yeah, true.
From this journey.
Yeah.
So the first book, as you said, is a thriller, and the second book is a humor drama, as you call it. So how did you transition from a thriller to a humor or drama? Was it difficult, or just because it's fiction, was it easier?
So yeah, after I had written that book, because it was a thriller, a really dark one at that, I really wanted to try out something light. Because I had always been fond of the humor genre. I would read such books a lot. So I thought, why not give it a try? Because, I already knew what I liked. So the matter was what I could do to make the readers like it also,
As well, yeah.
So yeah, as well, right. So I started writing it. I already had the plot in my head. I want to write something which would be very relatable to the Indian audience. I like to target the Indian audience because I understand this culture very well. So my second book, it was completely based on a typical Indian family. What happens in a family, the kind of issues that they face, the kind of things that they should probably, stand up against, and the kind of things that they should welcome with, all their heart and everything. So it was basically about that. And I did that. It didn't, it took me about, say, 9 to 10 months to write down the book. And then I started reaching out to the publishers again. So this time, I will tell you, I was a little biased toward, having the book published through a traditional publisher, because this happens with every author, I would tell you, because, it's a kind of notion that we all have. If it is published through a traditional publisher, then it's good.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that it's a very good notion or very right. I would come to this later, but I had this bias. So I reached out to many traditional publishers. I reached out to self-publishers also. So eventually it got selected by one of the very reputed publisher, but somehow it didn't work out because of certain things. But it got published, and I'm really happy the way it happened, whatever happened. And this time I was a little more experienced. So that really helped me. I knew which people to reach and how to do that. I had a network of authors already. I had a network of reviewers and people who were interested to read this kind of books and everything. So it kind of helped me. The journey of my first book helped my second book also. So yeah, it's been an amazing.
The first one turned out to be
experiences.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the first one was self-published, right? You from Kindle too. The second one, I want to know, again, it was a self-published book, or was it a traditional? That is one question. Second one is, I want to know, for the first book and for the second book, how long you gave yourself to try getting a publisher before deciding on the self-publishing?
So yeah, my second book was again self-published. Like I said, I actually wanted to get it published through a traditional publisher because of the kind of, biased notion that I had in my mind. So I reached out to many publishers, traditional publishers to be specific. And I was in talks with one of the very, reputed publishers. So somehow it didn't happen because the kind of timeline that they offered me was too long. They told me it could take from 6 months to 2 years. So it was too long. I kind of assurance that it would be published, say, in a couple of months, in 1 year, but it didn't happen that way. And they just didn't know, how to give me that particular assurance because they wanted a sponsor for the book, whatever goes on, behind the scenes of publishing. So all because of all those reasons, it didn't work out. I was not ready to wait for 2 years. So then I reached out to the self-publishers that I knew of, and most of them were ready to publish the book. But then I discussed, because a lot of things really go behind choosing a particular publisher. You have to think about the budget, you have to think about the packages, the services that they are offering and everything. So accordingly, I decided on one, and the book got published. So it was again self-published. But this time, to be honest, I didn't have that notion anymore. Now when I look back, I see that it was really stupid of me. I was limiting myself, I was doubting my own work, and I was actually relying on the publisher to feel good about my book, which was really stupid. You should never do that. You should have faith in your work. You should know that it is going to work because the quality is good, the content is good, you have worked really hard on it, and just be confident. It does not really have to depend on the publisher.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
So
I wanted to ask you something. I just checked your books, and both the books have really well designed covers. Did you go through the designing process, or had you given it to the publisher? Did you have to pay for the design separately and all that?
So yeah, I gave them the vision that I had for the covers, because when I am writing a book, I kind of imagine what the cover should be like. What all things should be on the cover. So for the first book, I wanted to have a lady on the book. If you see, I wanted to have a lady on the book.
The first book's cover was so beautiful. The first one is very beautiful.
So appealing, right? The eyes of the lady, it's so expressive. So I wanted something like that. I told them that, I want something like this, because the book is actually based on a woman. So I wanted that. I wanted it to be really, I wanted people to be really curious after seeing the cover. So for the second book also, I knew what I wanted. I wanted the main character, Mrs. Basu, to be in the front. And on the background, there would be the mother-in-law, the husband, and other characters who are equally important, but maybe not the main characters. So I told them how it should be like, and then they design. I'm really, grateful to them for designing such good covers.
Oh, fantastic.
They really did good work.
So did they give you options, drafts of the work before they proceeded? How did that go about? Or was it the first draft itself?
No, they sent me the draft and I saw it. I asked for certain changes, especially for the second book. I remember I wanted certain changes in the cover after they shared with me the first draft, and they did that. They were really good. On the second attempt, it was completely as per my vision.
Fantastic. So I have one question. You said you didn't want to wait, because we are looking, we are doing the podcast for the aspiring authors. This is an important point. An author, young author, is ready to wait or not, and why? Why didn't you want to wait? That is one question. Second question, if you had waited, maybe you could have gone on to another next work of yours. Why didn't you wait? That is the question, please.
Yeah, so see, the proposal that I was offered, it was I had to wait from 6 months to up to 2 years, and there was no guarantee that there was no guarantee that the book will be picked up within that time frame also, because they had to wait for a sponsor, because it was completely traditionally publishing stuff. So they had to wait for a sponsor. So it depended on the sponsor whether anybody would pick up the book or not. So I asked for some amount of assurance that it would be published or not, because if they told me that yes, it would be published, please wait for 1 year, for 6 months, for 1.5 years, I would have been all good with that. But then if I don't have any assurance, it kind of becomes a little I don't know, it's not that, it's not a good feeling.
Ambiguity is,
ambiguity is
or
not
perhaps really you thought my third book would have come published, then only my second book comes, my growth is projected in a different way. Probably you thought all that. Well,
Yeah.
Danya, you can ask another question.
Yeah. I wanted to know, as your bio says, you have worked as an editor and content writer for different platforms, right? How has that helped in your writing journey and your publishing journey? Have you had, did you build up a sorts of contacts through your editing and stuff? And has that helped you promoting your book?
Yeah, actually, the editing work that I did before really helped me with, my own books, because I knew what all things needed to be removed. Because when you are, writing the book, you add a lot of things which are not really required, you know. So the next time when you sit down, say after a month or so, and have a look at the book, you see that, all these things are not really necessary for the story, for the conclusion or whatever it is, right? So you have to remove them. It is very difficult for the author, because we have a bias toward our book. It's like our own baby, and we don't feel like, okay, I have written it so beautifully, why do I have to remove it? See, this particular line is so good. It happens, and it was so difficult for me to remove. But being an editor or coming from the editing background, I just knew that I had to do it, because editors are really ruthless to writers. They are like, they remove anything and everything. They don't like something, they would say, okay, this needs to be removed. And I had to do the same thing to my own work. So it became really difficult. So the first editing I always did myself, but I wanted to have a second pair of eyes on my book, so that, any kind of bias was not there. So I had a friend who, did the kind job and she took care of it. She had a look at it, and she did all the editing, the proofreading part, to be specific. And she really helped me with that. She read the book. She told me what all things I could remove, what all things needed to be improved. And I did that. So yeah, my network really helped me, because usually, editing and all takes a toll on the writer, I would say, because it's such a, tedious process. Writing is easy, I would say, but editing is not. So yeah, my network and my experience helped me a lot. So yeah.
Between writing and editing, there is rewriting. Do you rewrite, and how many drafts do you go?
Okay, so now that I'm writing my third book, I'll tell you, I don't know how many drafts I have. I have lost count, to be honest. I have rewritten the book because now I have more experience. For my first book, I was not thinking a lot. For my second book also, I was happy with it after, say, third or fourth draft. Okay. But for my third book, it's a really big book. And I am, I don't know, I just keep rewriting things, a certain particular chapter. I would read it and I would think that, okay, no, it should not be this way. It should not be told this way. And I keep rewriting it. So I don't know, I've lost count of the number of drafts that I have of my third book. And I think it is improving it. Sometimes it is really tiring, you don't like the process, because you are sitting down to edit it and then you read it and you feel like, no, it needs to be rewritten. So
it's basically self-criticizing, right? So it's going to be a little tough.
I'm doing it now.
You're criticizing yourself, but that's a good process. With experience, yes. I think it comes, and that's actually good for your work.
So you said it's a big book. What genre is it? Is it again a fiction? What type of fiction? Could you please share with us?
Yeah, sure. It's a fiction only, and it's actually drama come thriller. And it's actually very close to my heart, because it's based on the relationship between a mother and daughter. So it's very close to my heart, and it's so emotional, every time I write, I go toward the ending, I myself start, feeling emotional. So that is the reason, I guess, I'm being more critical about my work. I'm rewriting it, I'm trying to make it perfect, which is not possible, because perfection is not something that you should aim
aspire
to
for also. Yeah,
exactly. Some sort of non-perfection is good, but then it's very close to my heart. Despite being a thriller, it's very emotional. So that is the reason I keep working on it.
How do you come up with thrillers? Because most thrillers, the thrillers that we have read in English particularly, are from a foreign setting. We have not read much of Indian writers writing thriller in Indian setting. So how do you base it? Is yours set in India? And if it is set in India, how were you able to connect to that thriller? Because you should have seen you should have read, right, thrillers from foreign authors. How were you able to differentiate it to suit our people?
Right. So yeah, it is based in India. It is based in Indian cities only. But I have read a lot of thrillers from foreign authors, you know. But you know what? I do not let myself be completely influenced by, you know, what I'm reading.
Like,
From what I'm reading, I try to learn. I try to learn different sorts of writing style. I try to learn new ways of writing, new words sometimes. You know, reading is like a writing process, a learning process to me. But when it comes to writing, I know my audience. I mainly, you know, I've told before that, you know, I mainly target the Indian audience. So I want to make anything that I write very much relatable to the Indian audience. People should feel connected with it. You know what happens sometimes, a thriller, because it involves murders and, you know, people chasing one another and all these things, they sometimes become very bizarre to the reader, because they think that, okay, these things don't happen for real. People getting murdered and you're doing everything yourself, you're not going to the police and all that. These things only happen in stories.
in cinemas.
Despite that fact, if you can make readers, you know, feel connected with the story in general, the characters, it becomes very much relatable to them. It does not really have to be the murder part, the, you know, chasing and the, you know, the mystery and all, but the characters should be very much relatable to them. So that is the reason I try to base it in India, in Indian cities where they, you know the culture, they know the emotions and everything. So that is how it becomes very much relatable to my readers, I believe.
And about your second book, the book, you have used this term called feminism, right? How did you come up with it? Because we know feminism, we know other chauvinism and other stuff. How did you come up with this word of feminism, or did you read about it, or is it something that you brought up?
Yeah, so feminism, see, it is something, no, it's a phenomenon which is known by all. It happens in every family, you know. It's kind of, you know, when you are giving more preference to family prestige than individual members. So it is something which everybody knows, but I just had to come up with a term. So, you know, I started Googling how I could call it in one word. So I, you know, came across this word feminism, and it kind of, you know, perfectly fit into my idea of what I wanted to write about. So that is how I came across this word. But the phenomenon is, you know, very common among Indian families in our society. It happens in every family, I would say. So I wanted to write about it, and the term and all I came across on Google. And thanks to that, because, you know, my whole book title depends on it. You know, everybody tells me, okay, what is feminism? That is kind of the USP of the book, I would say, because everybody asks me, okay, what is feminism? So that is the, you know, curiosity factor in the book, I would say, for which, you know, people are picking it up.
And when you're, and this book, and it says that the book is, it mocks the, you know, the societal, you know, norms that are not appropriate and all that. So how, like, it is very tough to make a humor book which is mocking societal norms, which we have been following for generations together, not be controversial, right? Because that is the first reactions that Indians come up with. The moment we see our, you know, basic structure even made fun of, we will react different.
Perhaps so the humor helped.
Yeah, exactly. The humor helped. And that is why I would say I wrote a humor on this particular topic, because if I had been all serious about this topic, people would start, you know, picking points and pointing at, you know, the author, okay, you don't love your family and you don't care about a society and all that. So right at the beginning, I tell people that it is actually dedicated to the love of family. So familism has got nothing to do with a family. You should love your family. You should love your family members, your own people, your own blood and everybody. But you should not love familism. That is a very, you know,
very nice.
bad which keeps on living in the family. So
Yeah.
that was my approach.
Very
If
nice.
people laugh and if people end up smiling at the story, they would not be able to, be critical about it. Because in the end, that is what is making them
Later
laugh.
they will
That is what is
start
making them
thinking.
happy.
I mean, later they will
Exactly.
start thinking after the humor is
Exactly.
subsided.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Dies
that is
down.
also the aim of the book. People should think,
Fantastic.
and that is how familism will go away. But they should not feel critical, or they should not feel bad about, their family or their own
Yes.
feelings,
Yes.
because that is the message. Family is good. Familism is not.
So both are self-published books. How many copies did you get printed? Did you go for the second edition of the book? And in the second edition, did you do any changes? Can you share with us?
Yeah. So for my second book, it did go for a second edition, second, round of printing and all. But no, I did not make any changes to it because, I am very stubborn when it comes to my books. I'm like, okay, I've done it. I want people to read it this way. If they have liked it, the first, printed edition this way, they would like it the same way. They should like it the same way.
Yeah.
So I did not really want to make any changes, not even the cover, nothing, because people were really liking the cover.
Yes.
People were really liking the story, especially the humor. I was really scared, because you brought up the topic that people kind of get critical about societal norms and everything.
Yes.
I was really scared of the fact because, I didn't want people to criticize the book just because it was based on society. It was based on familial stuff. So when people started liking it, especially women, they reached out to me. They told me, okay, the things that you have written are really amazing. We can relate to it.
Yeah.
Especially married women. They asked me, "Are you married?" I was like, "Yes, I am married," but back then I was not. So it was completely, out of imagination. It was completely out of whatever I heard from my friends and colleagues.
Your family?
So they said,
also?
Yeah, my family, right? Yeah, my
Definitely,
family.
no.
Yeah,
So
right.
actually,
So
I was only, I forgot to ask. You said 82 pages or something, the book, and they said it's small. Did you rework on it to do
Make it
anything
bigger?
about it, or you left it as it is? That's very important.
no, yeah, my first book, I did not rework on it. Because I did not rework on it just for the sake of publishing the paperback, because it was already out on Kindle. I did not want to, take it off that platform, rework on it, and then. But I always had it in my mind that I wanted to elaborate that story. Maybe at a later point in time, I wanted to work on that story. I wanted to make it a better version of itself.
Okay.
Done with her, my first book.
Yes.
Because I always felt that I didn't, go very, deep into the story, because it was being written for a competition. There was a word count limitation.
Yes, authors write. They do the second edition in an elaborate way. They do. It's very common.
So
yes.
I really wanted to, and it's still in my mind. I want to, but with certain changes in the plot.
Okay.
And for that reason, I am waiting until and unless I'm very much sure about the plot, about the characters, the enhancements that I want to do to the story. I'm not going to work on it, but yes, it is there in my mind. I want to work on it.
Is it, it's your opinion, I want to know. Is it better to bring a sequel to that work, the first one, or to work elaborately on the same? Which one do you prefer? Which one would you think will be good?
I don't know. I just want to elaborate that story because deep down, what it lacked. Right? That depth, depth that it lacked. I knew that, but at that point of time, I didn't want to do it, but now when I think of it, like I say, now I have more experience. I can see what may have, gone wrong with the book. So when I think of it, I want to elaborate it. I want to make it more deep, because it was a thriller. It was a dark thriller. There could be more depth in the characters, the way it was written and the plot, the subplot, everything. So I want to elaborate it. I don't really want to write a second or part or sequel to it at this point in time. I don't think of it that way. But let's see. I want to elaborate it, and that is my plan.
You
for
said
now.
you had less experience back then, and now you are able to think that you can rewrite it. In this context, do you think a young writer with that kind of a fully done work should actually wait and go to the next work and come back to revisit and review yourself and then get published? Do you think so? I mean, you can answer this after this. It's going to be, maybe you can answer it.
The session.
Yeah, maybe you can
No,
answer.
we can just cut it off and we can come back.
Okay.
I think we can, yeah, we can leave and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Can you, yeah. Start record, yeah.
Okay. See, since I didn't have much experience, I was not in the state of mind to decide accordingly, to be honest. But if you know, or if you can see that your manuscript could be better, you should always wait. There is no hurry when it comes to something that is very, special to you, because it's your dream to be a author, to be a published author, or to be successful in this particular field. If it is really your dream, wait for not for the right time, because there is no right time, but wait for your writing to get there, or for your book to get there, when you yourself are confident that, okay, I have given it my best work and now it should reach its destination. So you should always wait for that. If I had, known that back when I wrote Done With Her, probably I would have waited on that manuscript. I would have instead gone for Mrs. Basu's as my first book, because I believe that I have put in a lot more effort, a lot of, editing, rewriting, and many other stuff. But with Done With Her, I did not really get that much opportunity. I had to upload it somewhere because it was written for a competition. And when it was published, I just thought that, okay, this was what I wanted. I wanted to be a published author. So I was that. So now what next? I was thinking, what next? I was not thinking of, bettering it. I was not thinking of improving it. But when now I think of it, I think of, elaborating on that story, on that plot, the characters. So why wait? If you already know this, then work on it. There is no hurry in, going on and publishing.
In that context, like Chimamanda Adichie and all, what they do is she writes just a short story, one short story. She will put it in Kindle, get the pulse of the readers. Later, she will write more on it to make it a novel. Sure. So that's one idea, no? To get.
That's really a good idea.
Kindle, between Kindle and print, you can work more on the book.
Yeah,
is one idea.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, because you said that the characters of the book have to be very relatable for us to catch the audience better. I wanted to ask you, do you do the character arc and then go into building a story around that character, or do you build the story first and then create your characters? Because I'm asking this because you said characters were important and their relatability is the main thing to do in a book.
Yeah.
So for me, every time the characters occur to me first, not the story. My first book, I talked about, it was based on a woman, and that is why I wanted that particular cover. So that particular character came to me first, and then the story came, the other characters came. I just knew what that woman would be like. For my second book as well, Mrs. Basu, the main character, it came to me first. I just knew I wanted to write about a woman like this, because so many women are like that. I myself was like that. I have many friends who are like that. Most of the housewives are like that, I would tell you. So I wanted to write a character. I wanted to, portray a character like that. And then the rest of the story happened to me. So it is always the character first and then the story.
For me too.
When I know this is how the character is, I just know what all different kind of things can happen to her and what all different kind of characters should be around her so that she can grow out of it. So that is how my process happens.
Fantastic.
Okay. And like you said, because you have your editing process has helped you in your writing. Have you been editing books also? Have you edited other authors' books, or is your editing just content editing and all that?
No, see, first when I started with editing, I was actually doing it for a writing platform. So there, people would come and submit their poetry, their stories and everything. So I used to edit them. I did not really edit any book before. And now what I do is I edit content, as in, whatever content goes out on social media, on blogs and articles and stuff. So I have never edited books, but somehow that experience, to see where the fluff is and where it can be cut off. So that experience has helped me with my own book.
Yeah. And how has social media helped promote your book? And has it influenced your sales?
I think social media has been the driving factor of my books. Without social media, I don't know where my books would have gone to, because I told you, after my first book was published, I reached out to this community of bookworms, the book lovers and everything, bookstagrammers and all that. I reached out to them. I really told them about my book. I used to ping them with the blurb of the book, I remember. And since the book was free, many of them picked it up. So that really helped me. Without social media, I really don't know how I would have reached people, how they would have known about my first book. Because of when it came to my second book, I already knew certain things. My publisher also helped me reach many people, because with the package came many marketing services, promotional services, and many other things, which was not there for my first book. So for my second book, the journey became very easy because of my experience, because of the publisher's network and experience. But for my first book, it was completely social media. It was completely Instagram and Facebook. So social media is, I think, everything when it comes to, promoting or your marketing of the book.
Both your books are self-published.
Yeah.
Is it the same publisher for both? That is one question. Second question is, will you please name the publishing, the self-publishing platform
Houses, yeah,
for aspiring authors, so they will know also?
Yeah, sure. So no, they were different publishers. My first publisher was Evans Pub. So I remember reaching out to them because I really liked the kind of services that they were offering. And because it was my first book, I had no, experience. I had zero experience. I was really scared when I reached out to people after many rejections. So when they, helped me understand the process, they were really honest, to be honest. They were really honest. They gave me every assistance that I needed, starting from marketing of the book, because I had no idea. So I used to ask them how I could reach people, what all different ways I could, get my book out there. So they were really helpful. They helped me with the cover designing also, which many people liked. So I'm really grateful for that also. For my second book, I went with Write India Publishers. So again, they were really helpful. I remember we had a talk for almost half an hour right after I sent them my manuscript, and they explained everything to me, how the process would be like, what all services would there be, and how it could help me as an author, not just my book, because author branding is something which is very important nowadays. You have to really get known by people. Only then people would, go and buy your book.
So how long did they take, the first one and the second one, just the process itself?
So the first one took like 15 days or so. The book was so small, and I was not really looking for a lot of services back then because I was so new. I was just looking for that book, that printed book form. For my second book,
So
though I
sweet.
actually wanted, yeah, I was like a little kid, all excited.
I know how it is.
So for my second book, I wanted many things, to be honest. I wanted a good promotional, platform and everything. So it took more than 1 month. It took almost 2 months, I guess, the process. But yeah, they did everything that they could, and they were really cooperative. They listened to me, whatever vision that I had for the cover, for the book and everything. They were really very, cooperative.
Apart from the
So
social
what
media
about your
and reviews and things, have you tried taking your books to libraries or judging panels of awards or such? Have you done any? And if there are any tips for the aspiring authors, please?
Awards, yes. There was an award that was held last year. For that, I actually sent my book, and it came as first runner up in that particular award. It was held in Coimbatore.
Oh,
And so yeah, so I'm very choosy when it comes to these things, I would tell you, because there are many people who are doing it in exchange for money, which I'm not really quite fond of. I am not going to pay people to make my book first or second or third. If it is honest, I'm happy.
Yes.
Even if it comes at number 10, I'm very much fine with that.
Yeah,
but I'm
true.
not going to pay you to make my book first or second or third or get a medal
Exactly.
or a prize. No. So I'm very choosy when it comes to awards. There are many people who reach out to me on social media and tell me that, okay, you have to pay this much money, and in exchange for that, you'll get these things. So I'm not really okay, or I'm not really open to those things. So that is the reason this particular award that was held in Coimbatore, it was actually not anything like that. It was very different. They were actually
I'm
reading
aware
the
of
work.
it. I know.
Yeah, they were rating the work accordingly. So I'm very happy that it came as first runners up. That guy who was holding it, he called me, he told me, you're not feeling bad, right? Because it did not really begin first, second, third. So I was like, no, don't worry about that. I'm just happy that, whatever it did, whatever rating that it got, it was honest. I'm just happy for that.
That's right. True.
That is how I'm going to improve as an author, as a writer.
Okay. So did you try libraries, orders in the libraries?
No, I did not try libraries. I tried other kinds of offline distribution, because but due to the pandemic and all, it did not happen, because in India the bookstores were shut for most of the time in 2020, and now also because of the current situation it is not happening. So that is the reason it did not work out. But for my second book, I tried to reach out to many offline bookstores. But yeah, I just hope that for my third book, it is not the case. The pandemic goes away, and I can, see my books in my in the hands of many other readers who are not on social media.
Sure. It is going to happen.
And I think this would be our last questions, and last question, and we can move on to WOW segment after this. My last question would be, as you said, you've already used both your books to be self-published. Are you looking for a traditional publisher in your third book, or are you gonna stick with self-publishing and take that lesson that you've already learned?
Yeah, I have actually learned that lesson. I told you, right? I do not have that biased notion in my head anymore that, okay, only a traditionally published book is good and self-published books are not good.
It is not.
That is not what I think anymore. Yeah, I do not think like that anymore. But I always try both the methods. For my third book also, the process has not started yet because of the pandemic only. I'm kind of delaying it a little. But I am meaning to send it out to both kinds of publishers. And I would always be open to whatever comes my way. It is not that if a self-publisher chooses me, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to go for, that, because now I have published 2 books and all that. No, I do not have that in my mind. And even if, a traditional publisher chooses me and they ask me to wait and they give me an assurance, say, okay, it is going to take this much of time, I'm okay with that, because what I want for my book is the best platform and the best, people who can do justice to it,
Mhm.
because I have done my work. Now
Mhm.
I want these people to really work on it.
Mhm.
So whatever best that is waiting for me,
So yeah, I think it's time for our next segment. We call it World of W's. It is a segment of all W questions like when, where, what, why, and all that. And the answers do not have to be very descriptive. You can just give us elaborate answer. It is for the sake of the listeners who don't have time to go through the entire session, so they can just scroll through and listen to this part of the session alone. I will start with the first question. My first question is, when is your next book due?
okay, end of this year.
Mm. And what is it about?
It is about it is a thriller which is based on the relationship between a mother and daughter.
Yes, you said it. Mm.
And why just thriller and humor fiction? Do you have any idea of venturing into other forms of fiction?
Yes, I want to try out the drama and romance genre for my next books. Um, let's see. I'm not very sure, but I'm going to try my hand at it.
So where can listeners find your works?
Okay, so they're available on Amazon. You can go search with my name, or you can search with my books names, Done with Her and Mrs. Bastu's Uncensored Familism. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Flipkart. It's available on Snapdeal, Google Books if you're into ebooks. So all these platforms you can find my book on.
Who are your target audience for both the books and for your future books also?
Okay, so I mainly target the young adult section of audience who I fall into, because I can easily relate to them, their emotions, and whatever they think like. So that is the reason I try to target them. So yeah.
Mm. So we come to the end of the session. We had a nice time, Danya and myself, didn't we, Danya? Fantastic
Definitely.
and very focused. So can you share a few lines about your experience of this session, and also some tips or advice or suggestions to the aspiring authors out there?
Sure. So this session has been really amazing. It went into the depths of my own journey. I said things which I myself wasn't aware of, because usually people ask me questions about, okay, what the book is about, and mostly about my book. Nobody really wants to know what went behind the scenes of everything, how I started, what I feel about my first book, how I could improve it, all these things. I think even the author is not very comfortable when it comes to talking about these things, because they think, okay, that might hamper my image and all. That is not going to give people a very perfect impression of how I feel about my books. But it is actually good, because that is how young authors or aspiring authors are going to feel really helped or grateful or gratitude, whatever it is. So this session was really amazing when it comes to enlightening the young authors, and also when it comes to the authors themselves. We get to reflect on our own journey. So this is really an amazing experience. And when it comes to tips or suggestions, I always tell people to believe in what they are doing. That is something the young authors are mostly struggling with, because they think that what they're doing is not enough, what they're doing is not good enough, because there are so many established authors. They're more famous, they're so much established. They always think, can we reach there? So let us not compare your journey to someone else's, because they have reached there through hard work, through a lot of things. It has taken many years to reach there. So give your work that, give your dream that, pursue your dreams like that. do not compare your journey. Keep working and have faith in whatever you're doing. If now your writing is not that good and you realize that, that is the first step towards success, I would say. That you yourself is realizing it.
Yeah.
And now keep working on it.
Fantastic.
Keep working on improving yourself. And that is how I think people get successful.
Lovely.
Success is not the destination, but keep
Yes.
working hard and everything. That is the destination.
Yes, brilliant. So
Thank you.
thank you
so much.
Thank you so
Actually,
much.
we had so much fun talking to you.
Yes.